Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to master and perfect clutch control. I'm going to show you everything you need to know about what the clutch is, how it works, and I'm going to give you some interesting little exercises as well as things you may not know, because in the 20 plus years I've been teaching and the 1,000 plus people I've taught to drive, there are certain things I've found that many driving instructors don't teach because they don't know, because I've also trained hundreds of driving instructors. So let's turn the car on and let's get going. And it was in this spot, I think it was 11 years ago, I first made this video, which was one of my most popular. So what I'm going to do is, now the car's on, you'll be seeing a lot of information on the screen. You'll probably be seeing the speedo, the map at the top left corner. That noise, by the way, is not me. When he goes, that's just the way the blower heater does when he turns on. It sounds a bit rude. It's not me, I promise. So you'll be seeing as well at the bottom of the screen the accelerometer. Now that just helps to show you the force going through the car. It's a sensor that's in the cameras, and I can put it on the screen with telemetry and show you how much force is going through the car. So clutch control is the single most important thing you need to master when you learn to drive a manual car. So what is the clutch? Well, here's the diagram I drew for people only yesterday, but what I'll do is I'll put a better diagram up on the screen, which will be the same one I used about 11 years ago in the first version of this video. So the clutch is simply a mechanism that connects your engine to the rest, to your wheels, to your tyres, to the rest of your car, I was going to say. So imagine it like this, and this is not technically correct, but this is a way of thinking about it which helps you to understand and helps you to drive. So imagine on this side you've got your engine, and on this side you've got your wheels, and it's a bit like two hands that come together. So when your clutch pedal is up like it is now, the hands are locked and gripped together like that. As you press the clutch down, the hands come apart, and then like that you lift it up and they're together again. You put it down, they come apart again. But it isn't quite simple as it being on and off. If only it was, it would be very easy. About halfway up, so when you press the pedal down, I hope you can see this well on the camera. I might blow up the pedal camera so you can see the view better, and I'll put my feet as low down as I can. This is not where they normally be, but this is so you can see better on the camera. So when I lift the clutch to roughly halfway, that's when the hands are starting to grip. And on the diagram you'll see there's a shaded area. So it's about as thick as a pound coin. And when you do clutch control, you're looking to find the bottom of that biting point. It's what you call a biting point, because it's when the clutch plates bite. You might have heard of clutch plates, clutch discs. That's what they are. I just think of it as two hands, because a lot of people won't understand if you start saying about plates and discs. So I use the example of two hands coming together and locking and gripping. It's easier to understand. So the first thing you need to do to get used to this is to press the clutch down. And you may know from my other videos I've spoken a lot about doing the gas before the clutch. That is vital, but just for now, just to demonstrate this, I'm going to show you just the clutch on its own. So the clutch goes down all the way. I'll select first gear and I'll lift the clutch and listen to what happens. And you may see on the accelerometer, you will see on the accelerometer at the bottom of the screen, how when I lift the clutch roughly halfway, see the car dips, and you probably see a little bump in the accelerometer like that. That's the bottom of the biting point, the shaded area. So first of all, you must be able to find that. Now, one of the things I said that a lot of instructors don't teach well is they don't tell you how to position your foot on the pedal. So you don't want to do it like that on the bottom. A lot of pupils do this. They have their feet on the bottom of the pedals, and the instructors don't notice because they're not watching them closely enough. You want to have your foot like that, so your toes are on the pedal. And I also, when you press the clutch, you should feel your toes bending. If you feel your toes bending, then you can tell when something's happening. And again, this comes back to many things I've trained in. If you don't know, I've been a driving instructor for over 20 years. I've also trained in martial arts, which helps with things like this. Why? Because you learn something lovely called limb destruction, which is how to destroy people's fingers and toes by bending them the wrong way, quite simply. So this is how I know things about it. When you sense the clutch under your foot, it reminds me of limb destruction classes. I've also trained in hypnosis. I've been a hypnotherapist for over 6 years. I specialise in helping people overcome their fear of driving. So all these things I know about martial arts, the mind, muscles, thoughts, the subconscious, the unconscious, it all helps make me the instructor I am. And people who say to me, how are you different to other instructors? Well, that's right. Okay, so sorry, a bit of a digression. I like a bit of digression, it's good, and there is a good reason I'll do that. So, left foot on the pedal, so your toes bend when you press it down. Do not pivot your foot on your heel. A lot of people teach that wrong. How can you even pivot your foot on your heel? No wonder people have trouble. My foot, the heel lifts, and it floats in the air, and I'll do that. That's how I do it. Now, I've got quite big feet. I wear size 11, 12 shoes. So if I can do it like that, it may be different for you, but most people are okay in that method. So I'll lift my foot a little on the heel, press the clutch down fully, select first gear. I'll lift just the clutch on its own. Again, don't normally do just the clutch just for this exercise. Clutch up to the biting point. That's the lower end of the biting point. You don't want that which is too high. Now, how much difference is there between too high and too low? It's about 1 millimeter, which is tiny. So it's a really, really small amount. So sometimes we say, think of the biting point like a pound coin and think of lifting your foot as much as a penny, which I don't know if that measures a millimetre, but it's roughly about the thickness of a penny. You lift your foot, if that. So clutch down, first gear, lift it roughly halfway. It's different in every car, some it's higher, some it's lower. Notice the car is revving the gas for me. Listen. It's saying do your gas. Now again, you'd always press the gas first normally. You do clutch down 1, gas then clutch. I've done 3 videos, or more than 3 videos on that, but I've done gas then clutch, the original video. Gas then clutch 2, return to the biting point. And gas then clutch 3, revenge of the accelerator. I've made all those videos to help explain why it's gas then clutch, so I won't go over that again too much in this video, but it must be gas, give the car some power, then set the clutch. So normally the method you would do is clutch down, first gear, rev the gas, clutch up to the biting point and hold it still. Now, why don't many instructors do this? Well, I'll tell you why. Because if you do it for too long, this can damage your car. How? Think about it. What happens if 2 hands do this now? If you can, bring your hands together and rub them like that. That's the clutch plates rubbing. It hurts, doesn't it? Even after a few seconds, it hurts, especially when it's a cold, dry day like this. Well, imagine the clutch plates rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. It ruins your clutch to have it set for too long. So when you're a learner, you have to set it for a while because you're slow. You'll have to be like gas. It's a bit clumsy. People are revving the gas and they lift the clutch too high, too low, too high, too low, because you're learning. Some instructors, unfortunately, don't have much patience. And one of the things I've always had in my life is I've always been very patient. And you have to understand that people are going to take a while to find this biting point. So gas, clutch, like that, hold it for 10 seconds. You wouldn't normally, and some instructors say, oh, don't do that, you're ruining my car. They're not ruining your car, it will damage it, but not unless you do it for too long. So get used to setting it at the lower end of the biting point. Then raise it a bit, a millimetre, listen to the difference. Now, did you hear that? Did you see it in the car? The front of the car will lift, the back of the car will dip. Can you see on the accelerometer? I know it's harder in videos to see things in real life, but gas, clutch, can you hear that? Now watch this, that's at the lower end of the biting point. Let's raise it a millimetre. It growls. Let's raise it another millimetre. Notice the car isn't moving. What's keeping the car still? The handbrake. In most cars, not all, but most, the engine will power the front 2 wheels and the handbrake works on the back 2 wheels. If you get something like a 4-wheel drive car, that's different. All 4 wheels are powered, but normally people are going to learn to drive in a 4-wheel drive car. So gas, clutch, find the bottom of the biting point and just practice that until you can get used to it. Find the bottom, like that, find the point, done. And you can make the car dance, what I call disco dancing. You do this, and the car's dancing like dum 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 dum. The car's having a disco. That's how you do it. Now, once you find the bottom of the biting point, this is where many people teach this incorrectly. People have done other videos on this as well. Any videos I mention I'll link in the description, and there might be cards on the screen or links at the end, but I'll put them all in the description. I know if you watch on some devices, like I tend to watch on TVs, you can't always click on them, but I'll put them there and just get them on your phone or desktop or whatever. The next thing is, you need to find a point, and then, in terms of moving off, there are other things to do, but in terms of the clutch and the pedals, you have to lift the clutch about another millimetre, then hold it still. Still. That will take about 2 to 3 seconds. You'll then feel the pedal go looser under your foot. When the pedal goes looser, and it kind of shakes a little sometimes, it depends on your car, that's where you can lift your foot as fast as you want. You don't just lift it slow to the point, that's incorrect. So you do clutch, 1, gas, clutch. I am doing other things like looking around, we're not doing that in this video, I'm just not going to talk about those so it doesn't confuse things. So I've done my gas clutch, found the point. I do check in, handbrake off, lift my foot 1 millimetre, pause, and then foot up, off, done. Now, this is quite a steep hill that I'm on, and again, hills don't always come across well in videos. But notice what I did there, I lifted my clutch, found the point. Now I lifted it 1 millimetre to supply some power, then I wait, when it feels different, you release the clutch as fast as you want. If it doesn't feel different, you lift it another millimetre, then wait till it does. Now over time and with experience, bear in mind I've been driving for decades, you can lift your foot much quicker, much differently, but that comes with practice. You can't just learn how to do it through words, you have to actually experience the feeling. So clutch, 1, gas, clutch. I'm going to get it there, so when I check around now, I won't see it because no one's around. Handbrake off, my foot stays still. It's moving well, so I'll wait, the pedal's gone loose, pedal comes off. Notice I'm exaggerating how quickly I'll lift my clutch. You don't have to always go like that. I'm just exaggerating how it's not this thing about slow. That's why people often stall, because a lot of instructors will teach this. They'll say, okay, do your gas clutch, and they lift your clutch slow, bang. Well, I was lifting it slow, because that's not what you do. You pause. And this clutch pause, I said the wipers off there. When I stalled, I knocked some water down onto the rain sensor on the windscreen. So that's what you do. Hope you can still see well out the window. I had cleaned it before that, but it may be a bit mucky now. Sorry about that. One bus goes, another bus comes. So you do clutch, 1, gas, clutch. Look around. That wire fell down again. Now I'll sin all this time because our bus has just pulled off, although the driver's got out, so he's not going to go. Handbrake comes off, keep feet still. Clutch up very slowly, slow, keep it still. Clutch off. I'll show you something else now a lot of people don't teach because they don't know. Notice I'm not pressing the pedals. And what's happening? The car's still moving. Did you know you could do that? It's funny how a lot of instructors don't even know that, because I've trained many instructors and they say, oh, I didn't know you could do that. It doesn't work in every car, be careful. Always test it somewhere very quiet where there's no one around. What about in second gear? No pedals. I don't need the pedals, because it rolls on its own. Did you know that? In first gear, it stays at about 5 miles an hour. In second gear, it stays at about 10 miles an hour. It doesn't work in other gears, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. It won't work in reverse, it works in, but you wouldn't really be doing that, because in reverse you'd be going at low speed. Notice I'm not pressing the pedals at all, and the car's still moving. Is it because it's down the hill? No. It's because that's what it does. No pedals. Notice the car's moving. Have I got cruise control on? No. I've done other videos on cruise control if you want to go learn about that. I'm not pressing the pedals, I'm ready to press them, my feet are by them. I could press them now because that car's going to turn. That was brilliant, I'm so glad that happened. See, I was ready, and they say thanks, and then off I go. So again, I do my gas clutch, check all around, I wait for them actually because they're still going. They're doing like a 5-point turn there. So gas clutch, off I go. No pedals, they're saying thanks. Into 2, no pedals. It jumps a bit because I did it a bit soon. But it didn't stall. Notice how I did it a bit early, but it didn't stall. I'm really stressing it how little you need to do if you do it well. if you're doing too much when you drive, it's wrong. It's like many things in life, isn't it? The more effort you put in, the worse it gets. No pedals, do nothing. Car coming, clutch brake 1, gas clutch mirrors, off I go. No pedals, the car's not going to stall, it just carries on. Notice, I pull over for that car behind, I can go around. No pedals, let the car through. I'm in a learning car, so people expect things like this. No pedals. Did you know you could drive with no pedals? Now, I'm not saying you should. There are situations where it will be dangerous. But many people have this misconception that they have to press the pedals at all times. You don't. Now, test it carefully in your car, make sure it works. I'm ready on the pedals. I'm not just going to, put my feet behind my neck or whatever. Not that I could even do that. But I check. And off I go, gas clutch, off I go. I'll pull up again on the left just here. So the point is, many people rush because they think they've got to have the gas on all the time. You don't. If you do it well, you often don't need to have the gas on. Sorry, a bit of a coughing fit. So that's what I do. The car's gone into standby mode. So you lift the clutch to the point, pause it. Now this is an uphill start, I should have said at the beginning I'm doing an uphill start. So, clutch 1, there are 3 methods for moving off. This is the uphill, gas, clutch. That's where it will be on a flat road. Flat and uphill are very similar. So on a flat road, you would do gas, clutch, hold it there. On an uphill you need more power, so clutch up, the car drops a bit, check, no signal needed, off I go. Hold my left foot still. Off I go. Accelerate, don't be afraid to accelerate, rev. Get second, take your time on the clutch, don't rush it. That's the whole point, you build momentum so you can then take your time on the gear change. Many learners change gears too soon and they don't have enough momentum built. So if I show you now, I'm going to go next left and I'll show you the downhill moving off. So left to go, no pedals. I don't have to be pressed. People think I've got to be on the gas, I've got to be on the brake. No, you don't. I've got my feet by them, I'm ready for it, but I don't need them. I'm going to pull over, mirror signal, brake, clutch, leave the gear, don't panic, don't rush the gear. People are always panicking and going for the gear. Leave the gear, stop, in 2. Handbrake, neutral, signal, rest, breathe. It's the arc, what I call the arc, duh. So you go duh, when you check your blind spots moving off, duh. So you go duh. Again, that comes from martial arts. I used to train in a style of karate called Sankukai karate, and it's all about shapes. I won't get too much into this, but it's about shapes. Like when someone comes to punch you, you do a circular motion. So it's hard to punch myself. If I'm going to punch myself, you would practice. Your hand goes in a circular motion and deflects the punch. That's where I got the ideas for duh, like Sankukai, doing that. So this is where all my stuff comes together. Again, people say, what makes you different to other instructors? If you're asking that, you've clearly never seen my videos. Every instructor is unique, every instructor is different. We all teach in our own ways. So I'm not saying I'm better than everyone else. Many people have said you're a great instructor. Great, but I'm not saying I'm better, I'm just saying I'm different. I've known people teach with other methods. It's up to them, I'm not going to get into that. Let's get into downhill moving off. How do you move off down a hill? It's a lot easier because you don't need to set the biting point. Why? Because a hill is providing the momentum for you. So I do brake, clutch down into first gear, could be second on some hills, but I do first here. Handbrake comes off. I don't need to set the pedals and do the clutch control because I'm down a hill. So I check around. This is a system called POSH, P-O-S-H, prepare, observe, signal, handbrake. Now the handbrake comes earlier in this part of the method, but prepare, which includes a handbrake down the hill, check, observe, signal if needed, I don't need to, brake off, let it roll, little bit of gas, clutch up fairly quickly because the hill helps, into second and into third. Now didn't I just say that people's rush the gears and I rush the gears? Why could I do that? What is it about this road that's helping me to do that? I'm going downhill. And I'm not rushing them. Like now, excellent example, there's a lorry in front of the truck. Mirror, brake. Don't need to come down the gears. A lot of people panic and they go for the gears. Leaving third. Let's see if I can. Bit of gas, there's a car coming the other way. Are they going to give way? Nope. So I do clutch, brake, then I do one. Notice how late I left that. Not in a bad way. There's no rush. A lot of people are rushing. I went to the gears quickly now because I'm on a flat road pretty much. Second, gently accelerate. Third, notice how calm it is. When you do the right driving lessons with me, it's all calm. It's not panic, oh, quick, do it, press the gas. I told you to press the gas, press the clutch. No, you're not doing that well. I can't stand instructors like that. I can't stand hotheads. People who are hotheads and get angry all the time. Nah, that's not for me at all. Mirrors, signal, wait, brake, just wait, chill out, relax, no rush, clutch, 2, pedals off, go. Yes, it's a bit slower, yes, you can do it quicker. The point is, when you're learning to drive, a lot of instructors want you to drive like them immediately and they're saying, come on, it's easy. It's easy for me to sit there. I worked it out once. I've done over 250,000 miles just with learners. It's easy for me to sit there and say, come on, it's easy, anyone can do this. That's a sign of a terrible teacher. A teacher who says, oh, it's easy, anyone can do this. You could do it because you've been doing it for years. I've been doing it for a few minutes. So give me a break. And again, I had an awful teacher once. I had an Aikido teacher when I trained in Aikido. I won't name them, but they were terrible. I've been doing this thing, I'll get back to driving in a moment, don't we? I've been doing this thing in Aikido, which I can't remember the name of. But it's quite complicated, almost like a kata. Not that you get those in Aikido, but it's like a sort of, almost like a dance shoe in Aikido. And I just couldn't do it. And they came up to me and said, you've been doing this for 20 minutes now and you still can't do it. And when I went to a much better teacher, who's one of the top people in the world who trains in Aikido, he said to me, that takes hours and hours and hours and weeks of training to do it. They want you to do that in 20 minutes. The best instructors are good at taking tuition themselves. The best instructors are happy to be pupils and learn themselves. I don't sit here saying to pupils, I'm perfect, I'm the teacher, you do what I say. I learn as well. And when I learn new skills, it reminds me of what it's like to be a learner. So that was uphill and downhill, sorry. See, I made mistakes, doesn't matter. What do I do next? Flat, moving off. Sometimes I've been in driving lessons and I'll say, right, what are we doing now? Oh yeah. It helps to be natural and human and not to be this instructor, this perfect instructor who's a robot, never makes mistakes. Flat moving off, clutch down into first gear. It's similar to uphill, except you need the clutch a bit lower. So gas, clutch, not as high. You can have it about there, because I'm not fighting a hill. It's a slight hill, but not much of a hill. So gas, clutch, prepare, observe, signal, don't have to, but I will, just to show you this. Handbrake off, clutch lifts to 1mm, pause it, now it's connected, as fast as I want. So what's the point in doing all this? Well, the point is that clutch control is the single most important thing. I always say that clutch control is the glue that holds driving together. Notice that? So when I get to the end of this road, I'm going to turn left, and the view is awful, I know, because I've been here a few thousand times. But you can tell on the approach, because the view is quite closed, it's a bad view, you can't see very far from each way. From where the bus is about now, if you can't see both ways fully from about 20 metres-ish back, it's not good. So what you don't want to do, as I mentioned in many videos before, you don't want to just creep. You don't want to just stop, so you do want to creep. You don't just want to stop dead and say, I can't see. And then instructor says, well, go. So you start to go, no, stop. You can't see. Oh, go, no, stop. It's clumsy, staccato driving. This is where your clutch control comes in. So gas, clutch, but as you move off, instead of lifting it, you drop the clutch. See, the car stops again, lift it to the point, drop it again. Lift it to the point, drop it again. The power is going on, off, on, off. The hands are going on, off, on, off, on, off. So instead of just lifting the clutch, what I'm doing is I'm pausing, clutch down, clutch up. With the gas, always gas clutch, clutch down, gas off. Gas down, clutch up. Clutch down, gas off. Gas down, clutch up. Clutch down, gas off. And again, sorry to keep talking about this, but when I was training once with this, he was a master of Aikido. He was really powerful. And I said to him once, can I attack you just to see what happens? And he was mad. I went to punch him. And I don't know what happened. I went to punch him. Next thing I knew, I was upside down on the floor. You just feel this like energy, like, woo! What happened? It's mad. And I was just on the floor. How did that happen? It's crazy, the power of martial arts. I won't go too much off that, but the reason I'm mentioning it is when I was saying to the sensei, that's not the trainer, the teacher, I was saying to him about, wax on, wax off. It's like clutch on, clutch off, and he didn't drive. And I said, master is master of martial arts, but he's not so hot with clutch control. I won't talk about that again, sorry. I like to make my videos a bit of fun. But he was going on about, I won't talk about that. So, the point is, clutch on, clutch off, which I always think of wax on, wax off, is gas clutch. If you don't know what wax on, wax off is, I don't know how to help you. So, gas clutch, I'll put a link in the description. Gas clutch, creep, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off. Gas clutch, creep, creep, creep. You see when I'm at this video, I'm having fun. This is what driving lessons should be like, fun, laughing, not you are going to do a driving lesson. Today we are going to learn junctions. Press your clutch down, select first gear, press your accelerator pedal, lift it. That's how I've seen people teaching. It's like, come on, show some enthusiasm. Can you see my passion for the job? Well, I've been doing it for so long. Gas on, gas off, wax on, wax off. Or wax on something else off, as Ralph says. So, gas, clutch. Gas clutch. The point of this is, there is a point to this, I promise you. The point is, when you get to a junction, this allows you to creep, crawl, clutch down, clutch up, clutch down, clutch up, clutch down, clutch up. And often I say to people, we're going to do this. And people say, why are we doing this? Why are we just creeping like this? What's the point? And I'll say, well, think about it. When would you need to do this? And again, why do I teach like that? And I said I wouldn't go back to it, but I'm going to. When I grew up, one of the most influential films ever was Karate Kid. And the whole point of Karate Kid was a kid was learning karate without knowing he was learning karate. His sensei would get him to do things like wax on, wax the car on, then wax the car off, wax on, wax off. What did I do earlier? It was like that. He was teaching him to divert punches without him knowing. When I teach people to drive, I've always done a Mr. Miyagi. I like to teach people things without them realising what I'm doing. So sometimes people will get to the end of the road and I'll say, okay, you're getting to the end of the road. And I say, we haven't done this before. Okay, check your mirrors, signal. Now do your clutch control. Now go brake, clutch, one. Okay, brake off. What do? I'll roll, let it roll, gas, clutch. Oh, that's why we do it. I creep, I wait for that van to come past. Creep, creep, clutch up, clutch down, clutch up, clutch down. Notice I haven't stopped. I can go any time. I'm ready. Where I can go? Gas, clutch, off I go. Get on with it. That's why you learn gas, clutch. That's why you creep, 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 creep. That's the point of it. So what you do is you get the point, the clutch to the very low edge of the point, and it comes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you're setting the power on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. Now, yes, you don't have to always do it like that, because when you're really used to it, you can just do it so quickly. And it's the thing, people who are experienced drivers will often not understand why we teach things like this. That's why they're not driving instructors, because you have to learn how to deconstruct driving and then be able to put it all together again. It's no good just saying to a learner, we'll get to the end of the road, go on, just go left, go on, use your clutch, go on. That's not telling people what to do. It's not helping at all. Like, experienced instructors who are true masters will know that learners can't drive. And it's quite shocking that, isn't it? But learners can't drive. A lot of people forget that. And my plea to instructors is always remember, learners can't drive. That's why they come to you. I'm going to do downhill method now. Do you remember how we did downhill? Let's do it in second, because the hill's steep enough. I wouldn't normally stop opposite a bus stop, but just for this I would. So check, brake off, clutch stays down. I won't even need the gas at all this time, look, just clutch up. Because the hill pulled me down, no pedals. The car isn't going to stall. The hill helps me get third. Yes, the speed's a bit low. Yes, I wouldn't always drive like this. But you can. Notice how calm that is, how relaxed that is, how easy that is. It's simple when you do it properly. And this comes from learning the fundamentals on the start of your driving lessons. If you just rush straight into, all right, get in the car, drive off, turn left, turn right, do this, do that, you got no chance. You've got to learn the basics, the fundamentals, then you can master it easily. And I mentioned before, I've had times where I've taken pupils for driving tests, and the examiners have said to my pupils, that's really good. They're way above the standard of the driving test. I've had many people pass with, I've had 0 faults, 1 or 2 faults, because I teach people all this stuff. So the clutch control, let's go over that in more detail. You go for clutch down first gear, gas, clutch. The whole point of the exercise, I'm going to signal left in case anyone appears, is to not go too far. Clutch up, clutch down. It's hovering around the lower end of the biting point. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm doing the gas wheel always gas then clutch up. But if I'm saying gas down, clutch up, gas down, clutch up, clutch up, gas down, it's too confusing. So I'll say to people, I'm only going to talk about the clutch. So when I'm saying up down, I'm talking about the clutch. Your gas does the opposite. So when your clutch comes up, your gas goes down, you pedal. And when your clutch goes down, your gas comes up. Creep, creep. And you can creep well like this. Creep, creep, creep. And your creeper junctions, creep, creep, you can get a good view. Is anything coming? I don't think so. All you do is clutch down, pause, wait, go. Rather than what a lot of people teach, stop, handbrake on, gas, clutch, handbrake off, stop, handbrake on, gas, clutch, creep, stop, handbrake on, gas, clutch, creep, stop, brake, clutch down, gas, clutch, handbrake on. No wonder people have trouble learning to drive with that rubbish. Creep. How much easier is that? It's harder to do to begin with, but it's easier when you get used to it. That's the whole point. Learn to drive properly with a true instructor, not just someone who does the job because it's a bit of money, because I saw an advert and thought I'll have a go at that. If you don't know why I became a driving instructor, please go and read my my story on my page. It's long, I tell you now, it's about 5,000 words or something. Or is it 5,000 characters? It's a long story of why I became an instructor and why I'm so passionate about this. Long story short, I was taught incorrectly, and my instructor never taught me how to do any of this stuff. I had a lot of trouble after I passed. I'm going to finish this video soon, but let's go and look at one more thing, which is turning right on this junction. This is when this really comes into its own. I'm going to turn right on this junction, and the view is terrible. I can't see to the left or to the right. There's no one behind me. The mirror's done. Signal about now. Don't rush it, wait. Brake, take your time. Breathe. Clutch down, no need to rush the gear, wait. Steer, if the signal comes off, put it back on. Brake off, select first gear. Gas, clutch, creep, nothing from the right, focus on the left of someone there, clutch down, great example. Creep, go. You notice there I started to go, and my clutch control allowed me the ability to stop. If you just slam the brake on there, rip the handbrake on, you can have cars behind ploughing the back of you, because by creeping you're saying I can't see, and then you go, rather than just stop, slam the brake on. That's not how you do it. So that is how you do clutch control, and I've got many other videos on this, like I say. If you want to see those, please do go and check those out. I'm going to go and finish just over this road. So I'm going to turn left and brake down to second. I've done other videos on this, and I will be doing other videos soon of me teaching pupils to drive. So check around, go around his car. I'm going to turn right up here and just finish up here. One reason I'm doing this is when I have the stuff on the screen, the telemetry, it's just easier if I'll go turn around. It's easy if I stop and I can just turn that off. Otherwise I have to edit it when I get home. I have to kind of, like, you're not pretty bothered about it, so I have to kind of edit all the video. I have to kind of do extra work if I'm still driving as the video finishes, is what I'm saying there. So why do I sometimes say things like that? And people say, oh, it's distracting, I couldn't learn with you because you distract me. Why might I do that? Which of the skills did I say I've got apart from driving instructor and martial arts? What else do I do? What's distraction got to do with that? Well, you see, when you distract people in the correct way, not just in some ways some people do it, if you distract people in the correct way, it distracts their conscious mind, so you can slip things into the subconscious and the unconscious. So when I teach people to drive, I'm actually giving them instructions into their unconscious directly. And I may be the only driving instructor who does that, I don't know. But you can do it if you do it correctly. If you don't know what you're doing, you can just be waffling and talking rubbish. There's that noise again. But if you do it correctly, you can slip things into people's unconscious. I did do a video about that, which I'll link to at the end of this one, if you're still on my channel. I hope you found that helpful. Please check out the other videos of mine on the channel. You can find out more about me and my driving school at firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.